with basic on the ground case. It was becoming back. We're going to be because it's the most important. It's about $2,000 building out of cleaning these two floors. They got to have flags over it. Wow. Special meetings. You have to make that. It's no risk. Now on that side, it's not for the foundation.
I know.
But it's, yeah, that's the good chance.
You said something.
A little bit. With the rise.
She definitely does. Oh, and Scanning some juice this evening. Oh, well, we don't. I'm not your, I'm not my lab.
And then you'll have to say, if I said, go and want to say, they're gonna be back here, so.
Yes.
You can go ahead and find out and bring your business price for night. That's how we're going through like a list. So then you can. If you're asking your council questions and going up to speak, yes, fill it out. I'm sure they're too smart. I think sure. I know who you are. Remember you? Down. No, you're good. I remember you. Those are perfect. I don't really have to touch them. I go. I'm sure they would love to. Okay. You know, crazy.
Want a gizzard?
So,
I do.
and today, and I hear something. That would be lovely.
Right. He did so much for this, right? He dedicated this.
Well, thank you so much. We're gonna give it just a few minutes to be able to do 7, and then we'll go ahead and kick things.
Right, I came to the city, I was like, I don't know, you don't want to tell they out of that, and I'm not sure what to expect because feedback about people that have that covered.
My mean briefs have good goes. Because this is a little bit different, this is, but, well, I've got another principal driving, so, and it's gonna be up at the whole school. Oh, yes. And we're gonna have Amy Kruger there, we're gonna have representatives from Maryland Strickland's office. We're gonna have.
See what.
Lieutenant This is on April 17th. And I went with these.
Like two. I remember.
So if I was there, that's why.
We're requesting. Yeah.
I
believe.
She talks so late. No, here, if it. Fill it out. No, but. We have form.
Probably better.
That's why it's outside now. Because the minute we got it banned, there's so many probably, you know, but when they put it there, it's inside, it's fine. Yeah, I'm just outside, you know anymore, but yeah, it's like now, it's out of there. It's proud of it. It's proud of it. It's fact, it's like, it's a hurricane here. So there will send some. Jimmy's not. Oh, yeah. And the rest of them were all out, with all of mine, out on Fort Road. Yeah. So, It's, they cover this chance to get in this town.
Okay, and,
A lot of. Just put. We're all.
information from last library.
All the way up there.
About what we have to do.
Those stones were
Library services.
people comparison.
And then that will open the door.
Lots of them down there.
Library.
Most of the ones in Canberra aren't.
That kind of stuff, but this is like, that's what they outlined. Private. We don't have any.
Yeah. Just all top of the original gates. You look back in the movies, the fifties and sixties cemetery gates that were the wrought iron with the spokes and stuff. Yeah, that. And it was, they still, now can't scrap metal. They know.
So last, cost estimate says it's going $24,000. And that's it, like, so she's still $1,000. Still the rest of it. Library we don't have. Well, that's, we would have to find the revenue from somewhere. So you have to increase the revenue to add that into the budget. So the only thing, depending on grades for that, is you're not gonna be able to sustain, because you're not gonna get those grades every day. There's not, our staff, so.
Are they still on that portion
Depend on
about
volunteers. And that would be something. So that
I haven't been up there since they built all the houses, because they used to live in this one.
Well, that's, if you guys do your own private, the city can't say, no, you can't do that, because you're doing your own thing, you're renting your space, you're doing your thing. Jennifer plants are, we can't say.
Yeah.
It's your own private thing, it's like postage stamp.
Yeah. Because that used to go all the way over to 260th over there, all the way back down to Robert. I don't know if they kept all that.
So we have an agreement, or the ordinance that council passes, and if it's a benefit for the community, it can be a reduced or.
Right.
So if it's
Yeah.
Monday through Friday, and it falls under this category, we can move that into.
Too bad, because it's all green.
So- Well, I was just like, like, even if it was one day a week, or maybe it was 2 days a month, whatever the community. Well, it's a library community. Because if it was completely out of city hands, right, the library, we don't have a.
Flooring, that's what I just done.
But if the city has to put funds things in, we've got to find revenue source. It's gonna be.
You know, my,
To meet these certain.
it's, like I said, so many.
Our public.
Right.
This is the city building, yes. So the library
Right.
community was rent the space,
Right.
and that's.
But I mean, that's where they,
Yeah.
I mean, it's part of the mosque where they've got both bodies and ashes and all kinds of things. To me, a mosque is a building that they put the head. Yeah. That's yeah. Yeah. They sit restaurants downstairs. All my dogs and cats, but I love her up there, and I told the kid when I go, throw us all out together, I'm ready somewhere, just spend all the there.
Our partners are.
Original signs before they got rid of the door that goes to Katie.
Right.
What it's designed, so, great, how can we get our public works?
I guess we can give it that. But it is.
We are. We are.
So I say it's going to be a hand.
Oh, right. I just got boxes.
Because we're looking at all the stuff. We're.
That grew up.
We've got great investment. That the steps forward. Next year's.
Oh.
Like, we're doing our own shopping work, like,
What's the
we're
one?
gonna find really errors.
So the last time.
Just, we got the grants.
Just, I think he's going to the. Like this.
First wind started to blow away, already you're turning up, that's the oil where it came from. You know what I mean?
So.
I don't have those things about that, though. I mean,
Stuff that is like, here's my results. So
your body.
we're trying to.
Has a gap. Doesn't matter if it's true.
With all the many projects we have there. And then we've reached a point that all of those projects are super.
Well, it's always been there.
And can't be neglected.
But everybody, don't dad or
Versus-
and I don't know how many, I don't know, my great grandmother.
Because everything has this timeline. Okay, well, this is gonna be done or expired, or you have to have this update done by this time. So we're handling, we're juggling lots of things. But this is exciting news. Please review it. I mean, it's not just we're talking. This is because to get the steps that we have to
I just know there's. Stack a lot of them. It was from W. Bellingham. But her married name, like, was Sayer, S-A-Y-D-R. Her Roland was her family. They came here in There was a bunch of that.
They must have just had the server down.
Most of them.
The server was down.
That would have been probably one of the possibly, I don't.
Which life? All right. Thank you everybody so much for coming. We're excited that you're here for our first town hall. I'm gonna go ahead and go through some of the rules that we're gonna have to follow just because we do have our form here. And so that puts us into a special meeting category. We have adjusted the speak time to be 5 minutes per citizen request to be heard. If you plan on speaking tonight, there are forms back there to be filled out. Feel free to fill them out and bring them over to the clerk and myself. And we will go through the list that way. Like I said, you'll have 5 minutes. Council will then have an opportunity to respond back, and then we'll move to the next request to be heard. There was one more, what am I missing? Speak loudly. We don't have microphones. We don't have that kind of stuff. So project as best as you can. And council members, feel free to say, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Can you repeat, or can you please speak up? We'll just all help each other. Could everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm just gonna go ahead and note that we do have Yvonne Stark here, position 2, general government and planning matters. Jim Rotondo, position 4, water utility matters. Harvey Gilchrist, position 4, these are public safety matters. And we have Bill Starks here, position 5, and that's transportation matters.
Park, streets and roads.
Parks, streets and roads.
Yes.
Our transportation. Oh. All right, do we have our first citizen request to be heard?
We do. Scott Hutchins.
Go ahead, start the time.
Hey, so I'm here to discuss the signage outside for the school zone that we have. Now, I'm not opposed to the school zone. I think they're great. They are a necessary thing. However, this all started when on President's Day, I was going to work and coming through town at 6:20 in the morning. The flashing lights were not on, so people were not going 20 miles an hour, they were going 30. And then on my way home that afternoon, I noticed a sign that actually says that the school zone is from 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. Now, verbiage matters, especially when it comes to law. Lawyers that write laws choose their verbiage for a reason. We'll use may instead of must, we'll use and instead of or, that type of stuff, right? So this sign's out there, like I said, they say 6 a.m., 4 p.m. That's my first target. School is in session from just after 9 o'clock till about 3:30. And we only have half an hour after school, but we have 3 hours before school. I think that's ridiculous. I think an hour is more than enough. So I think we should change the time on the sign to 8 a.m., 4 p.m. Because there is a lot of congestion in the mornings when I drive through here. Mainly because everyone has to slow down this point. There's really no reason. Now, second matter I have an issue with is that on that day, flashing lights were not flashing because they're not required. It's fine. Now, personally, I think that we should go to a sign that says when flashing, and that would be, because there are some places that do that. Now, if you want to leave it as, right now, it currently says Monday through Friday, which I disagree with because, as I said, that Monday was a holiday. There was no school. So there's no reason to have a school zone active at that time. But because of the verbiage on the sign, it was an active school zone. Okay? So I think we should change that verbiage to say school days. Because the other issue with that is that because it says Monday through Friday, all summer long when there is no school, it's still a school zone because it's Monday through Friday, not school days. And that's all I have. Thank you so much for that.
What are the means? Using all of those versions kind of thing.
What, and up to you.
You can go to the spot.
Well, you're correct about the sign. I ran that past a retired sheriff's deputy that did traffic. And he said the same thing you're saying is if it says the time, and we can try to do it that way. To push, school days, not many people know, even half the people that have kids up there, I don't think, know when their school days are because they keep changing. What needs to happen with that whole sign system is it needs to be figured out, looked at, and I'm not a computer guy. So it comes on at the right time and goes off. And
You're referring to the flashing lights?
yes,
Okay, no, I agree. I would say, personally, I would prefer that the sign says when flashing. Okay, however, I'm not opposed to say school days or something like that. Or the thing is that I was also told that those flashing lights are not required on that sign. They are there as a courtesy. And as again, I said that Monday that I went through on President's Day, they were not flashing, so people were not obeying it. even though it technically was a school day.
That right there is the issue. It's not on the days it should be on. And I think the lights are very important because it gets people's attention.
And you too.
And earlier they came on, that you were discussing that, there are, I don't know how many high school and junior high kids that come from that side of town over to like the fire station and pick up a bus that takes them to Bethel or Newburgh. So the early part of it is not just for the school up here, it's for the school kids to get safe travel across the highway to get on the bus to go to where they're transferring. So the simple solution would be to take the times off of that and just say when flashing and figure out wherever, I have no idea who runs that here. Have them figure this thing out, work with the school and computers or, do a lot of things and put the correct information in. It says, for the month of May, these days of school, it all comes on.
Right.
And it goes off, and in the afternoon, nothing comes back on at whatever the time they pick, and just runs. So there's a lot of other people that have been frustrated with that, and know that they can get a ticket on, July 4th, driving to do their two path when there is no school.
Right, and that's why I'm bringing it up.
They're fine. So it needs to be looked at and revamped, and the computer or whatever the control is needs to be fed correct information, so it knows when to turn things on and turn things off. But it's a good one, and a lot of people have said that approached me about it. I'm not the sign guy, I don't know. So I did some research, and the guy I talked to was a traffic guy for a whole long time before he retired. And I put a lot of faith in what he had to say, and he says, that's exactly right, what he said. It's got the time, you don't need to be flashing, you've got the time, then you better be slowing down.
Right.
Now, there again, that's up to the police department a little bit, maybe to use some discretion at, when the school's out for spring break or whatever. We don't need that maybe. The variable will need to be worked on, but the main thing is take that verbiage out there and just say when flashing and figure out how to make it flash during the right times.
I agree.
I do.
Chief William, can we meet, you and I meet after this, to discuss the sign? To see what can be done regarding that today or sometime this week, to discuss the sign. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Our next request, please.
Excuse me, Jacqueline Greer? Greer? Did I say that right? Sorry.
Oh, I just wanted to come and introduce myself. My name is Jacqueline Greer. I've lived in Roy for 40 years in June. I know the council members, and I live outside of city limits, so I can't be as effective as maybe I could be, but I just wanted to lend my service, should it be needed at any point in time. I don't know that there's a lot of opportunity for someone like myself to come and say just that. So that's all I wanted to do. And thank you for your service. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next citizen request. Oh,
Your statement, I wish nobody would say that anymore, is you live just outside of town, so it can't be as effective. The people just outside of town should be allowed to come to the meetings and put their 2 cents worth in, because what you're a line on a piece of property and problems don't know those lines. So I would encourage more people to come in and say, I don't live in town, but I've got this question, I've got this issue. And they're just as important as the people inside, because what you have a problem with, there's got to be 1 or 2 people or 100 people inside the city limits that just don't want to go up and say anything, and it just goes unanswered. And that's part of the issue that, the good, the bad, the ugly, or whatever it is, some people think of our council is we don't find out about things because people don't want to come say something. And, you're part of the town without being part of the town. And your opinion, you know, it goes a long way with me. Because I know a lot of people that live across that line and they're like, we can't say anything, we can't do anything. That's not true. And my vote is not. So I would encourage you to come here anytime there's an issue outside of town that affects the town. Let us know. Let me know. I'll go out there, I'm gonna say for everybody else that gets speak for them. So let me know and I'll try and sneak it in under the radar here. Keep coming and keep coming up with issues outside, because besides solving them all outside of town, we won't have any inside of town.
Great.
So, thank you.
May I, or should I come back up there? I don't know how this works.
You got 3 more minutes. Okay?
I don't have a lot of complaints or anything. I personally just, like, there's things I loved, like 4th of July and things like that as I was a kid. And I feel like if there was more hands involved, then it would make things easier. And so it's a small town, so I have hands. And so I just, yeah.
A volunteer.
If you just use the law, we're gonna run the 3-legged race.
I feel like it's always dependent on volunteers. I mean, Berletta is volunteer, Carol's volunteer. I mean, cleaning up the park, putting in plants, you've all done a lot of work.
Well, I
really appreciate it.
do the activities with the 4th of July while Carol goes to picnic, the food and does that. And I'm in a tutu. I try to make it fun for all the little kids and stuff. But I've just not ever come, and I've told Carol, I've told Hardy, I would come for years at this point. I'm just not here. And so then I'm here and I just don't want to stay here idly and listen to everybody else speak. So that's why I just.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Miss Cindy Bird.
I was gonna speak, but after the first gentleman, I wanted to kind of address some of the stuff that he was saying. Today was an early dismissal. Kids are getting off the bus at 10:30. My grandkids and everybody else's kids come up, try to catch the bus at 6 o'clock in the morning. So you can't start this at 9 o'clock when school was in session here. It covers the activity bus in the afternoon, covers kids that come back and forth all day long. And as far as trying to get it computer generated, good luck with that. They have them all over Tacoma and everywhere. Some of them have flashing signs. Some of them say only when the lights are flashing. Some of them have 6 to 4 or whatever, and they have no flashing signs and it's flat. And I'll tell you what, Lakewood's gonna write you a ticket for that over by that Catholic school. But the city of Roy has enough brains and always has have, that they pretty much never bothered anybody except when it's time that those kids are around. And there really isn't a big issue with this. Those lights flashing and that sign stating that all day does have an impact to slow some of the jerks down that without the signs and without that low speed limit will go 40 and 45 through here. You got one cop. Today I picked up my kid and I'm going up Warren with him. And there's a little girl that gets off the bus, crosses the tracks, walks up Warren and gets down to First Street by the water tower, and she crosses the road every day. Sometimes she remembers to look, sometimes she doesn't. She's a middle schooler. She's not an older high schooler. And so I know she's gonna cross the road up there, and she's generally far enough ahead of me by the time I get out and around it. She's almost there. So I stop almost every day to let her cross the road safely, and hopefully the oncoming will see me stopped. So today I'm halfway up the road and some jerk comes barreling up behind me, probably doing 35. And I'm doing about 20, 22. And I saw what he was gonna do. I saw she was getting ready to cross the road. So I swung out into the middle and blocked him, which really bent him out of shape, and let her cross the road. That's why those signs are there. And if they're off a little bit and it's 20 miles an hour all day long, so what? Kids' safety is more important than slowing people down that want to exceed the speed limit most of the time anyway. I'm grateful they're there. And like I said, cops don't bother anybody in the summer, never have. Yeah. That's my spiel on it. Anybody want to rebut me?
Like I said, I'm not opposed to the schools. I'm not, you know.
I realize, but
Yeah.
kids and stuff cross that all day long.
I understand, and like I said, my only concern was the fact that, you know, first of all, non-school days, and the other thing was, like I said, the times. I just thought, I understand what you're all saying, everyone's saying about 6 o'clock, I understand that now. I understand why you want to early, I understand that, it's not a problem, and I have no problem with it being all day. My main concern is, like I said, school days.
Right.
So, and, you know, and again, it is officer discretion.
Yeah.
So, yes, it is, but the thing is that the law is the law. So, you know, if he's having a bad day, or if the guy's being a jerk to him or whatever, he can write him up for it, you know? And everything like that, but I'm just saying that, to me, it's just, it seems that it's a bit restrictive, you know, when it doesn't need to be. So,
But the problem is getting it all to work together. Every time daylight savings comes along, signs are off until they have to make, there's no way you're going to make those signs go off automatically for a holiday or take a break for a holiday. No way they're gonna take a break. Oh, today's early dismissal, because one day out of the week, now all this week is early dismissal.
right.
And regular time. So it's a mixture of all. Those signs are not going to off and on and off and on.
No, I never said anything about turning them
No,
off.
but I'm just saying, by changing that sign, if the lights aren't flashing and it says only when they're flashing and it's early dismissal, and they don't know it's early dismissal, so they don't come on. 45 through there, we have to slow down some schools, and now they're flashing.
Well,
But it's,
you're right, but they should be doing 30 also, I mean.
they
that's-
should be, but that's the problem.
I understand,
I have
yeah.
one officer and he can't get them all. He tries hard, I see.
Yeah.
You know, just like that one today. They didn't care. They were in a hurry to get to Fort Lewis. Exactly where they were going, so. Yeah, it's, and the safety of our kids is more important than them jerks driving through here in a damn hurry. If I had spike strips, there'd be a lot of moving spots.
I would agree with you, Cindy. I lost a grandchild because somebody was speeding too fast and hit her when she expired, so. I would agree that slowing people down is important.
And if they're inconvenienced a little bit for 2 minutes, oh, well.
Well, a big solution to that would be to pull a lock on that gate up there, and what that be.
That would solve a lot of the issues on that other,
Every time.
I worry about this.
They do a race.
Yeah, and they walked across that bridge, the old bridge before the mayor that we had that decided that was a good design, had separate walkways that were walled off. You were separated pedestrians from, but not this. You're out there in the open taking your chances. And there's 4 or 5 kids that cross that and have to walk and across Warren, and it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. And at 6 in the morning, a lot of times it's dark, and at 4 o'clock at night in the winter, it's dark. So.
Does council want to talk on any topics? We don't have any more citizens' requests to be heard.
Question for covered in executive meeting.
Well,
Would council like to move to adjourn?
yeah. You guys are, if you're good, you can move to adjourn your town hall.
We have a second?
Am I thinking?
No,
Not yet.
there was a motion to adjourn by Councilmember Starks. Does anyone want to second that?
Second.
There we go.
All right.
Okay.
So we will go ahead and adjourn this town hall meeting. Thank you everyone for coming. Have a good night. Can I end the recording?